I'd be out of place if I had a beer during this?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can have one. That's a beer. That's
Just
fine.
see me on my birthday. I had like 10 glasses of wine.
That was a good show. Actually, we're live. We are live now.
Yay! Hey guys. We are live comedians at Denny's, and we're cracking a beer open for that.
Yes.
And
3D.
Cheers.
We have a guest. Cheers, big ears. And usually, as usual, I mean, it's me, your host, Jay, drinking his water, Chris with his earbuds, and it's our special guest, Adam Murray, you guys.
Woo!
So happy to have him. So how we're going to start out the show, and we'll let him have a few sips of beer before his turn, is we're going to say what we're most likely. And I was voted most likely to start my own nude business. So I'm going to charge $5 for every nude, and I'm going to charge $25 for everyone who doesn't want me to send them a nude.
Well,
and Jennifer's watching. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Hey,
What's
guess what,
up,
Jennifer?
Jen?
Guess what, Jennifer? I was voted most likely to become a 100-air.
It must be a theme. I was voted most likely to do the I was voted most likely to do the limbo in the nude.
How low can you go?
I'll pay for that.
Does it still knock the pole over?
Yeah. That's call me Thunder Down Under for no reason.
He knocks the pole over with the pole.
Right. It's here we go, the pole joke.
That's where I was going with it.
Yeah. Adam, I do have time
Come
now.
on over. Yeah. We're hanging laundry.
Let it dry.
Yes.
You got a whole flag.
Let Jay ride.
Buddy.
Whole vault at 3.
Intimidating.
Hey, Chris, not saying I'm hung, but I went swimming in Loch Ness. They're still talking about it.
I was voted most likely to still be living with my parents at age 38.
Woo!
That's cool.
Yeah, rent control. That's what I'm talking about.
Aaron.
Yes.
You
Those are good goals.
Or a comedy condo.
He's been incognito for a while. We got Tom watching and Jennifer.
Great.
So, Aaron, welcome to our special guest. Adam. So Adam lives in Florida, you guys, and he's staying at a comedy house right now. And
yeah, that's technically true. It's a comedy. Well, it was a comedy condo.
If I
that's even better
correctly, there's like a exit sign and a no smoking.
Oh yeah, there totally is. Yeah.
Wow. That's like living on the job.
Yeah, right.
There's a handicapped parking space outside and a stop sign in the driveway.
Oh,
that's right.
Place of business.
Never eat the food at the comedy condo. Is that right?
Yeah. Never. Is it the 2-drink minimum at the comedy condo as well?
That's when you get your first beer. I have my own jar of mayonnaise. Like I bought it. I put it in there. Like,
yes.
He's gonna leave it for the next person.
Yeah.
I've always had the rule where you make the condo better than it was when you got there. Like you leave food in the fridge.
That's right.
I mean, nice
for the next person.
Yeah, like a carton of eggs or some water or
ketchup packet,
Gatorade or something.
Yeah.
Jennifer says hi to everybody. She's saying hi to Noodle right now. Noodle had a really hard week. I know everyone's asking. I'm going to put him down in a second, but here he is. He had 16 teeth pulled.
Smile, Noodle.
Oh.
Tooth. He's back to eating completely normal. I don't even know how he does it.
Really?
Incredibly resilient. This dog is so happy and he's out of pain. He had a really bad infection. So Noodle, go eat something. Go on.
Ouch.
Okay. So he'll be begging the whole time. So Adam lives in Florida at the comedy house, and we met him through a fan. Adam, I saw some of your videos. They're very funny.
Thank you. This actually just happened because of COVID. Like I was getting ready to move to Atlanta. And they called me and were like, "Hey, with the world ending, would you mind watching this property for us so no one just comes and burns it down?" And I was like, "All right, I don't know what's gonna happen next week, let alone tomorrow. Sure."
But you're ready to go to Atlanta, like whenever you can.
No, No, but I'm doing it anyway. That's
okay.
that's kind of like the whole jump and the the parachute will open kind of thing.
A great
just
city.
Like,
right.
See what happens.
What do you so like with all the road gigs? I mean, a lot of the road gigs are not happening, right? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah. So outside of Atlanta, is it what else? What else can you do to supplement, get some scratch?
I mean, right now I'm on unemployment. Well,
yeah.
Hey, government.
Jeez, it's the gig economy, right? Like, so you apply as that independent.
That's the thing is like, I mean, what I was doing before was like touring and then doing acting gigs and like radio calls and things of that nature.
Right.
But now, like, none of that's happening. There's maybe a handful of comedy clubs in the country that are open, and they're typically doing some sort of modified show. Like maybe just a headliner and a host or whatever, or maybe they're only doing like a couple of days or something like that. Like it's all, I don't know, it's all hit and miss. It's certainly not back to normal. Like,
do you see that a lot though? A lot of the comedy clubs have gone to like, I noticed. So I toured a lot back in the early 90s, late 80s, like full time. And as the trend kind of has gone, a lot of comedy clubs are using, they'll pay one guy, one headliner, from out of town. And then they use a lot of locals for their features and MCs. And it's typically guys that are trying to work their way up, or, they bring their friends, they don't pay them hardly anything, and then they'll pay the headliner. So I don't know, it's tough. I'm wondering, do you think I would think comedy would come back after the pandemic, but do you think it's coming back?
I mean, therein lies the question. I've been able to do like 25 different states touring.
Wow.
And a lot of it is mostly just from selling t-shirts. Like you say, they don't pay a lot. So if I go to some place and then I'm able to pay for all my gas or what have you, or at least most of it with t-shirts and stuff. For some gigs, I'll make more money with t-shirts than I did on the gig.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good
point.
Especially
and I'm sorry. So, and these t-shirts are it's you promoting you, right? Then.
Yeah. I mean, it's something.
He's selling them at Old Navy.
Yeah, I mean, they're unique to me. I've actually had a couple of headliners offer to like buy the design from me and stuff. I'm like, nah.
Oh yeah,
this is how I eat on the road. Are you kidding me? No.
You're not gonna take everything from me.
You want to, it tells me it's a good one, and then
hey, Adam, Aaron wants to know what kind of beer you're drinking.
Oh, it is a Chimay Grand Reserve. It's a Belgian
fancy
beer.
Did you see that, Aaron?
I think it's 9%.
That looks good.
Aaron, he just showed it's Chimay. So that looks really nice.
Chimay Grand Reserve. It's a very malty beer. I personally like Belgian beers. They're typically sweet and malty. I don't like the tiger piss taste of beer.
Yeah.
So I started with ciders. That was like the first alcoholic beverage. I was like, you know what, this is actually tasty. And then I started drinking Belgians, and that kind of opened up my palate to where now there's IPAs I like and stuff.
Yeah.
I like IPAs too. I got into those a couple years ago, and then I stopped.
Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah, those are the things.
In Cali, you're not far away to get like Pliny the Elder and stuff like that. Like that's one of the best IPAs you can get in the country, and you can only get it in like I think it's San Francisco and Philadelphia are like the two places you can get it.
I live practically next door to two breweries, so
yeah. There's some really, really damn good beers that, I mean, if all you know about beers are like, Bud Light and Coors, you're like, nah.
Then you're in college.
I live next door to a liquor store, so I know all about that. Yeah. Not a brewery.
So that really wasn't a question, but somebody just asked, and it does look good. So I know one of the things we wanted to ask you, I know, like, you're moving to Atlanta. I've performed at the Laughing Skull, though. You'll have to go check that out if you've not been before.
That's one of the places I really want to. I've performed at the Punchline. I used to do the Punchline before they closed the old Punchline and moved it into a diner, which sounds terrible, but when you walk in there, you'd have no idea that it was a diner. They somehow block everything out and make it look like a legitimate comedy club. It's pretty fancy, but it's still not.
Have you heard about one of the big decor things at the Laughing Skull?
The giant skull?
No, the Laughing Skull. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I know, like, we all are kind of new friends here, but they have a big old floor-to-ceiling statue of a big penis, and I have my picture
cool
standing next to it, like it's my boyfriend.
Oh, were you hugging it, or?
Yes, I'm hugging it, and that's at the Laughing Skull. It's attached to the restaurant next door, so that should be fun.
Good gimmick.
And with that, what are you gonna miss about Florida?
Oh man, honestly, Publix. I know they have some in Georgia, but they're not as ubiquitous as they are here. Do you guys even know what that is?
That's a big word. I've been to Publix in Georgia, and I've been to Publix in South Carolina.
Yeah, but they started in Florida. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, it's a grocery store chain, but it's better than most grocery stores. They have what they're famous for are their subs.
Yeah.
And if you go to their deli counter, you can get a sub made with any of the meats and any of the cheeses in the entire deli. And the other day, got myself a sub, and I went to go check out, and the woman in the line behind me goes, "Hey, it's 3:00. That's a rather late lunch." I said, "It would be if this wasn't breakfast."
And you know what? Everyone is so nice that works there. When I went there, I was like hot off the airplane from LA. I'm like, oh my God, no one's ever this nice. Like,
right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Those people that work there, they get like stock options. Yeah. And if you work there for like 10 years, you can't buy public stock unless you work there. So it does nothing but go up because people just buy it until they, retire.
Wow.
But typically, if they work there for 10 or more years, they're practically a millionaire, if not well into the millions.
If you go, if you go to that deli too, you can ask them for samples of anything you want. They'll just
anything.
Oh, that's cool.
You can just eat there on samples.
Yeah.
part of their well, it's like Costco, but you can just ask them to try anything. Like you can walk over their hot cake, be like, "Can I try the chicken tenders?" And they'll be like, "Okay." Like, they don't like it, but they'll do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
No, it's a great story. What did you do before comedy?
Oh man, I was a cab driver, believe it or not.
Pre-Uber.
Before.
Yeah, that's a rare thing.
Like I remember my brother talking about like Uber happening, and he's like, people aren't going to get in strangers' cars. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And now look, cabs aren't even a thing.
Right.
But yeah, I drove cab here in Orlando for the better part of a decade. And I'll tell you guys a story. One morning, I picked up this Chinese couple off of International Drive, and the woman got in the car first, and she was like super excited. She had like a Mickey Mouse ears on and like her Mickey shirt on, and she was like, going to Disney. And I had to tell her that I was being paid to take them to Orange Lake, which is a timeshare presentation where at the end they give you Disney tickets.
Oh.
And joy fluttered from her face. And the dude got in the car and she proceeded to yell at him in Chinese from the moment we pulled out of the parking lot, the whole way down International Drive, all the way down Sand Lake, onto I-4 and down 2 exits. And when she stopped, I looked at him and said, "Sounds the same in every language, man."
Oh.
He was like, "Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does."
Oh, that is so funny. Nobody's taking cabs anymore, though.
Yeah. No. The thing with cabs, though, because when Uber started, same thing. Surprising, you're not going to get in someone's a stranger's car, but we do.
Yeah, and now
but when you get into an Uber, like when I do it, like you're like kind of like encouraged to talk to the person, right? But like when I used to get in a cab, like way back in the day, I never talked to the cab driver, But here it's like, Uber, how are you doing? Oh, it's good, blah blah.
Like, when I drove a cab, like people used to love to talk to the cab driver. Like people
Okay.
I mean, the one thing I used to get all the time is like, how are you a cab driver?
Oh,
I speak English and I'm white, I guess. I don't know. It seemed like the most racist question ever.
yeah.
But I'm telling you, I got it daily. People would ask me, like, you seem well educated. I don't know why you're doing this. And I'm like, yeah,
you could still be an Uber driver if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I did it for a good little while. I didn't like the way people treated my car.
Okay.
By the way, I saw your video on your car. I have the exact same car, and you said 10 things you don't like about it, and I love all of the stuff about my car.
People are mad about that video. I had to like think of things that weren't perfect about that car because I legitimately love the thing.
But that door handle thing doesn't happen to me.
What did what did people do to the car?
I had a guy put a cigarette out on the side on my paint job when I had just gotten it repainted. I had a tree limb fall in the car and it shattered and like scratched every surface of the car. And so Toyota repainted the whole thing and to the tune of like a little over $7,000. It was like
Can't you charge the guy? Can't you charge the guy that did that? Like,
I mean, they have limits to that kind of. You're not going to charge them. The cost to repaint a body panel, especially on the side of the car, because they have to blend the whole thing.
Yeah, they have to do the whole thing.
I mean, thankfully, it didn't wreck the side of the car, but I kicked them all out, and they thought it was hysterical. They're like, "No one cares about your car, man." It's never the guy that's buying the ride. It's always his friends that just don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
random that I saw that video because I have the same car and I love my car.
I want to make another one that where I talk about why it's better than a Prius because I wanted basically I was touring the country in a Grand Marquis, which I mean they're never gonna break down. It's old reliable, but they don't get good gas mileage. So part of the reason I bought that is it has the same drivetrain that's in the Camry hybrids.
Yeah. And
that's what the cab company started to adopt, and they're getting like 400,000 or more miles out of them. So it's like,
by the way, you guys, it's a Lexus ES300 hybrid. So the hybrid's like, yeah, it's the way to go. But anyway,
who ended up paying for that paint job? You had to pay for that paint job?
No, it was covered by insurance.
Oh, that's
because I had insurance and a
from the branch. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, the branch fell on it. So I'd owned the car less than a year when it happened. I just came out. So you know what it was? I was on my way to pick up a comic from the Improv to take them to media to do radio and stuff. And I came out to a tree trim, like massive.
Right.
Like, I mean, there were some big dents. I thought they were going to total the car, honestly. Nothing was like crushed in. But there were dents, it looked like hail damage, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
Everything was all scratched. I'm like, they're going to total this damn thing. And I just bought it 6 months ago.
Adam, you mentioned that you did radio. I'm taking it for pay. What shows were, like I used to do it out here in LA. I'd go on Mancow and then Howard Stern. And there's a couple other places, the way they did it with me is they wouldn't know my name, be like an anonymous thing. And they would sometimes they'd give me a premise. So it was just like all improv. Is that kind of what you were doing?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. I'll give you a cool story about that no one's supposed to know. But so I've been doing them for a while, and typically it's like couples fighting or things like that on the radio, and they hire people to be the actors in that, or like you said, they give you topics or whatever. And I just did Mankind not long ago, but I did one that was local, and I was like, oh, this is my first time being able to actually hear it when it airs, because I never get to hear them. You're doing them all over the country. And so I was like, I'm going to pull out all the stops on this one. And so what the premise was, my fiance was working at a car dealership, and I thought she was cheating on me with the guy that owns the car dealership. So they called her and offered her like this fancy romantic dinner, but they just needed to know what names to put on the menu. And she chose his name. I flipped out. I was like, "Where are you?" And she was like, "I'm at work." And I'm like, "Stay there, because I'm gonna come there and I'm gonna." What did I say? I'm like, "I'm gonna kick him in the nuts and punch you in the throat." And then I went running out my front door. Like normally, I would do these like lying in my bed in my underwear, not caring. But I ran out my front door and I held my phone up to the door jamb as I slammed the door to make certain they could hear it. And then I jumped in my car and started it and did like a burnout out of my driveway. And started screaming at traffic that wasn't there as I was holding my phone like down to my side, so it's kind of muffled. And then I hung up the phone. And I was like, "Oh, this is great. I can't wait to hear this." And I never heard it. But as I mentioned before, I used to drive the comics around for the Improv to go to radio. And this station happened to be one of the radio stations that we went to. And so I was going with, it was Adam Ferrara was the comic I was driving. And we took him there. And when I walked in, I went up to the radio DJ. And this is the moment that they remembered me. And I became a person as opposed to, "Oh, it's that guy again." I was like, "Hey, man, I did a radio call with you guys and I never heard it. How did it turn out? Can I hear it?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "I'm gonna kick him in the nuts and punch you in the throat." And he was like, "Oh, that was you?" I was like, "You have no idea what happened with that phone call." So what happened was they aired it twice. They aired it it was one of the few that they aired multiple times. I think they aired it in the morning and sometime in the afternoon or something. They got so inundated with phone calls. There were a bunch of people calling up to find out if the girl was okay. And even more so than that, they had women calling up thinking that their husband was the guy that owns the car dealership. I didn't even realize there were that many car dealerships around.
Wow. Wow, that just led to a whole bunch of stuff.
Right? A lot of cans of worms.
Dude, yeah. So think about, I was blown away. I was like, think of all the people that had arguments over like the dinner table and the wife was mad and the guy has no idea why. But they said that they got so many calls that the president of the radio station, like not just that station, but like the whole corporation, had a meeting with him. They had to come in, I think it was either on their day off or when they're normally home, to have this meeting because they're like morning radio. And this lady came in the afternoon and they had to play her the tape. And she decided that they could no longer ever do a prank like that, of that style, on any of their radio stations across the entire platform.
Yeah, it sounds too real.
You raised the bar on that one.
Dude, Adam, I told this with Adam Ferrara. He looks at me and goes, "Dude, you're like the Orson Welles of radio."
Yeah, or the world.
You're modern day Orson Welles is what he
said. You're famous, man.
Made everybody freak out.
It's crazy, man. I wish I could have heard it. I wonder
why they didn't tell you when it was going to be airing.
They never do. Sometimes it's live and but like more often than not, they give you a scenario, they tape it, and they're like, "Well,
and you do it
sometime later this week."
Yeah.
A lot of
you don't know when. Yeah.
A lot of times they don't know who you are either. Like they never gave them my real name because they didn't want.
True. That's true.
They didn't want anybody to slip and have some jealous husband come over there and beat me up.
Yeah, exactly.
Which has been known to almost happen to Jake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Adam, what hell gig did you? What you were talking about hell gigs? We were talking about hell gigs.
Oh man, dude, I gotta say the vast majority of shows that I do are like. I've gone all over the country, and some places are absolutely amazing, and other places are Crystal River, Florida. I've played. It was an outdoor biker bar / tattoo parlor / Harley Davidson repair shop And it was about as charming as it sounds. And the last time I was there, I was headlining, which meant I was going last. And they had the name of the comic and the name of the band out on the marquee. And the name of the band was Nobody Cares. So the marquee said Adam Murray, Nobody Cares. And that's true. No one gave a shit. And there was
that's always a good start on the marquee.
This was a place that, like, I used to go there and play a game, which was, let me see what I can do to offend these people so they don't want me to come back. Like,
that game too a lot. I just don't realize I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of comics hated this place because it was terrible. It was legitimately terrible. I used to make fun of them. So they had the inside of the place had like real working motorcycles just on display. They had a real stock car from NASCAR on a real lift, and that was the bar. But AC in that bitch, fuck that shit. They didn't care. Like, it was a big old fan that would just. But so the last time I was there, there was a guy who was heckling literally every comic that went on before me, because that's what they view comedy as. They think that it's verbal. We're verbal Spartans, and they just want to joust with us.
They want to, heckle you, fight you.
So I was getting ready for the guy, and what he looked like he was about 70 and had been riding a motorcycle with no sleeves since he was 6. He had a long white beard and a white mohawk, and things are going great until I said he looked like a redneck Santa Claus.
Oh.
At which point he charged the stage.
Oh
and I realized no one was stopping him. I was like, all right,
wow.
This is where this shit ends.
Oh, no way.
Instead of running up there and beating the shit out of me, he ran to the front and he ripped his shirt open like he just won Hulkamania, showing off a bevy of tattoos. And he turned to the side, and from chin to shoulder, he had a tattoo of a waving rebel flag. He's like, how's this for redneck? And I was like, I think you win, actually.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, I'm going to funny more, and I'm going to need an escort to my car.
Yeah.
Like, it takes all the fun out of comedy.
What I'm trying to say is I'm ecstatic about Zoom shows right now, because some of these gigs were fucking dangerous.
It's the way to go. In fact, one of the LA comedy clubs, Flappers, and you guys know about Flappers, but
I know about Flappers.
Adam, it's in Burbank, but I got an email. They're doing all Zoom shows. Yeah, they're celebrating their 10th year anniversary, and they have Zoom shows like every night for a while.
Are they still like charging comics to perform on their Zoom shows?
Yeah, and
I got that email. You gotta be
to
fucking
attend.
kidding me. Get out of here with that.
Well,
Get out of here. No, it's the thing is, why would I pay to see somebody I work with like all the time that I know their act? Like, it's just.
I've always found that charging
and also to have no audience, it's like that weird feeling when you.
I bet it's weird.
It's like people, you
get no reaction from the audience.
Yeah,
man,
you get no one charging the stage.
I've always thought charging comics to perform was an atrocity. Like that's just crazy to me. I know that like there's so many people that live in LA that they have literally everyone, but I still think that it's terrible. Like, they're making a killing with drinks and everything, and then just to not pay the performers, it's like,
this is a big problem that I had with Kami in LA then eventually they became bringer rooms where you'd have to you'd only get on if you brought like 2 or 5 people. And that got to be a pain in the neck.
That sucks, but it's better than charging you.
That is true, but then I was to the point where like they should be booking the club. I'm not getting paid anyway. So
the bringer rooms kind of suck because it brings all the beginners out that can bring all their friends, and
they're 15 friends.
Why would you do that when you can perform for redneck Santa Claus?
Exactly.
Dude,
charging the stage.
I love getting out of LA though, because people love to go see comedy. You don't have to beg them or, do
right.
There was a comedy club I was trying to get in with, and what they did, sort of like the whole bringer show thing, is they would have 2 comics go up as guest spots, and the audience would vote. They did it as a comedy contest, and they would do it for however many weeks during a normal show. So they'd have host these two guest spots, then feature and headliner. And the couple times I did it, I don't know if I did it more than once.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did. But I went out there and I had just gotten an agent for TV, and they came to watch the show, and there were about 80 people in the audience, and 65 of them this guy brought, the other guy.
Wow.
And
Wow.
He was like, I don't know if he's popular in his church or what, but he brought out a crowd. And
Wow.
when they announced me, they were like, this is his opponent. Everyone, I know you guys all came to see the other guy, but here's his opponent first. And literally the crowd was like,
oh, jeez.
It's like,
yeah, I know.
It's like you're already gonna vote for the guy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like,
but you do.
Enjoy the show.
At least enjoy the show. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Erin just said she always liked to watch me live out and about. She was at some fun places. Thank you, Erin. Yeah,
that's true, Gordon Ramsay.
That is true,
Yes.
Gordon. So where I live, Adam, where I live, it's like condo, but it's called, I don't even want to say what it's called because I might have some stalkers, but there's a restaurant down in one of the towers where I live, and they have a big old room, and they used to do comedy here. And it's like a restaurant and a bar. So like, it was really fun, like back in the day, and that's closed now too because of COVID. But
right.
I had a stalker that figured out where I lived and showed up at my house at 7 a.m. trying to look through the windows.
Oh gosh, stalker.
Yeah, he was he was a fan that used to come out all the time, and then I guess something happened and he got into drugs and started sending me weird messages like, "Don't kill me, I can't die," and stuff. Geez. And then he became homeless and was like, "Hey, I'm coming to your show and I'm bringing everything I own in a suitcase." And I'm like, "I'm not going to that show." Like,
Jesus!
Stand-up comedy contest, and if you won, you got to go to the next round. But the following week, but that next week I was going to be in Mexico, which is the first time I had left the country as an adult. And I'm like, I'm not missing that. So I'm not going to be able to continue this competition, even if I win. So why risk it?
Right.
And I told the comics why I wasn't going. And so they all thought I was making it up. They're like, no, like I'm, trying to get some sort of, I don't know, like clout or something for having a stalker. So they all went and took pictures with the guy. They figured out who it was, and they all went and took pictures with him. He's crazy. He's not stupid. So then the week I get back from Mexico is when he comes to my house. Like he somehow figured out where I lived, I guess, from just seeing, pictures or videos, or like Facebook would tag me. Like,
I know where they
area.
Crazy. And it wasn't even a girl stalker. It was a boy stalker.
It was a dude. And how I found out was my neighbors. I was walking out to my car, and these neighbors that I'd never talked to, like, started calling to me. And they told me, like, I heard the knock at the door, but it's 7 a.m. and I'm a comic. I was like, nah, going back to sleep. And they told me, like, hey, there was this guy, like, looking through your windows. And I was like, did he look like this? And, like, showed him a picture, like, yeah, that's the guy.
Oh,
so
gosh.
I called the police and filed a report, and they laughed at me until they looked him up, and they're like, no, you should file this report. Like,
really?
I can't tell you why you should file this report, but if you want to know, you can go down to the police station and ask them.
No way.
Sorry I laughed, but you should file this report. Let me make sure I have all this information right.
Whatever happened to him?
I blocked him on like every social media that I thought I had, and then next thing I know, he was like sending me messages through LinkedIn, which I had never used. And it was years later I saw him, and I went back and forth with him a little bit, and he was like, "Sorry, I was a little crazy there for a second." I was like, "Yeah, kind of scary."
Never ended up.
Like,
wow.
Like the message he had sent me, I remember one thing he sent me was like all caps, "I still see you," kind of thing on LinkedIn. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
That's
like,
insane.
He was a, for years, he was a great fan. He would come out all the time. He'd wear my shirt.
He didn't go to jail? Like nothing ever happened to him?
Not that I know of. I mean, because that's the thing is like he didn't really break any laws per se.
He didn't cross
than,
that line.
Trespassing, I guess.
Just looking through windows.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's crazy and creepy what he did, but I mean,
yeah,
the guy. There was several little instances that I was like, this seems odd. You know,
Jennifer just said that she's your number one stalker.
yeah.
Jen likes to say she's my number one stalker. I think Jen knows that story. Because when she was telling me that, I was like, you don't know about this guy. This guy. Well, yeah, so, Jen.
Adam, do you have any comedy influences, or anyone that you look up to, or got you into stand-up comedy? Any comedians that you're a fan of?
I mean, none of them are why I did comedy, but I've always been a fan of like Bill Burr, Jim Gaffigan.
Oh yeah.
Brian Egan.
All funny people.
Great comedians.
Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle's made quite the comeback.
Yeah,
he has.
He's on fire.
Yeah, like I can't imagine. The dude released like 6 specials in a year.
And you know what? And I wasn't even that much of a fan until he made his comeback. And I'm like, he's brilliant. Like he's just.
He's
got so much material.
You know who I think is very underrated is Mike Birbiglia. Like when he first started, he used to do like kind of jokey joke kind of thing. Like he joked about his name, like my name is Mike Birbiglia, so they used to call me the Biggle Booger and Biggle Bub and Fag and like that. He had jokes like that. I mean, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
But he started doing stuff like My Girlfriend's Boyfriend, I feel like is, or maybe it was Sleepwalk With Me. But for me, My Girlfriend's Boyfriend was the turning point where I was like, okay, it's true stories that are 100% honest and real. And there's moments in there where you can see it's still raw for him and it's still painful. And that to me is amazing. Like, when I first started, I wanted to do stuff that was like, I called it a roller coaster set is what I originally referred to it as. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Nightmare on Elm Street became one of the very first horror movies to inject comedy in it. And so as you watch the series, the very first one is very serious, but it starts to, especially when you get to like Freddy's Dead, it's like half of its jokes.
Yeah.
The reason they did that is because what they found was people felt more afraid when they weren't, like if they're getting scared, it's like, oh, scared, and then they come back to neutral and then, oh, scared.
Yeah, you're like,
but if they were laughing, it's a farther emotional travel.
Yeah.
And so they found that people were more scared and then more connected to it. And I feel like with Steve Martin described a joke as the release of tension. And I feel like you can build that with a number of different things like fear and, I guess what's the sadness would build tension. Like, so my goal is to at some point be able to have a set that incorporates all of those.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so forth. But I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting closer as each
a work in progress.
Yeah.
Like all of us, right?
I've got a couple of jokes that are like, I've got stuff that now that I've been working on that I don't know. I never thought I'd like true stories that I never thought I'd be talking about.
Wow.
Just because I thought they were too painful and wouldn't make it to stage.
There's lots of things to write about.
Yeah.
With this COVID.
Yeah.
So Jennifer said that you went to Naples for her birthday.
I did. She had a birthday and she asked me to come and I was skeptical because of the whole COVID thing. And I was like, you know what? She's come to, I mean, I can't tell you how many shows of mine, like, I mean, what do I have going on other than watching TV, Netflix while I'm lying here trying not to get COVID? So I was like, you know what? I'll risk it and come, it's 5 hours and
Wow,
it's like 3.5, 4 hours, something like that.
Okay.
From here to go.
That's a good fan. Yeah.
But
you're like, she thinks you're better than canned beer, my friend. That's awesome.
What about bottled beer?
I'm not quite bottled beer, but
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna try some of that chimney beer. That looks good.
Chimay.
Maybe you can come out here
right?
this weekend, because this weekend's Erin's birthday. She's one of our big fans. So her birthday is on the 7th. So Erin, maybe he can come out for your birthday and you guys can drink a Chimay.
Erin, I'll drive 30 minutes for you anytime.
Erin, if you're around, actually, Erin and Jay are neighbors.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Erin, by the way, that was me looking in your windows.
You and Erin live really close, like 5 minutes. Like,
wow.
I didn't even think about it.
I see a Chimay in our future.
Yeah, I do too.
They are starting to open some stuff up. They're opening up the hair salons, which I think is really good for Chris.
Yes. Thank you.
Maybe for Adam too. And
I can use a trim. That's for sure.
Look at Noodle, boy. His hair is trimmed every 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Noodle's
hair. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of an old man he is. Look at that. He's adorable. He's got like those squinty eyes. He doesn't really want to. There
he has really small eyes. My dad used to call him Richard Gere. Are you Richard Gere?
Got no
doing
teeth.
Strange stuff with gerbils.
Yeah.
Where do you when you're so you're thinking about that's the character development? We all met through a workshop that not Lauren and I at the gym, but we were in the same workshop together where we often had like development of a comedic character rather than, the difference between, comics that tell jokes, say, funny things, and a character say things funny, but also, also have punchlines. But just, it was really beneficial for us to sit and work together on each other's material. And sometimes we do that on this show. Yeah. From our own point of view, because all those guys know my point of view, my characterization. I know theirs, and we help each other. How would you define your character, and how do you come up with your material for what you do?
Honestly, I used to try to, like, people had told me about the whole character thing, and what I try to do is just be as honest as I can, because I feel like probably about the only thing I tried to do when I first started out was I didn't want people to think I was intelligent, because I thought people would find that off-putting. But people still, for whatever reason,
I know the problem.
People still, like, I had at Crystal River and Ocala were two shows that afterwards I had people come up to me and they said the exact same weird thing, which is, "Here comes the intellectual." And I'm like, wow, the biggest word I say is aquatic. Like, I don't understand what, like, and they said it like an insult. Like, but
jeez.
Yeah. The best way to combat that is to wear a low cut shirt.
Oh yeah. I'll get
Maybe Parker kind of disappeared. He texted me to let us know that he was here. Aaron just said, "Did he leave to go eat some bacon?"
Yes.
Things kind of quiet.
He went to make a cabinet.
I think he went to make a table, and he's going to be right back.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Jay, I just try to tell true stories, and I figure that me being me will be character enough, is the way I go about it.
And it does work. It does work, because I watched some of your stuff on YouTube today, for the show tonight, and you really do have a good connection with the audience, Adam, and you are doing a good point of view that backs up a lot of your material and stuff too.
Yeah, maybe that organic, your own, kind of personality, character.
If you're good at going back and forth with the audience. You're very comfortable.
Yeah, I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be something like Larry the Cable Guy that's stuck in a character that can't evolve. You know, like I feel like my rules are that I make fun of myself before I'll make fun of anyone else, and I try not to make fun of anyone in the audience. When I first started out, I used to have this, like I was like a year in, not even 6 months in. No, it was about a year in. I had this joke where I would make fun of people in the audience, and what I would do is I would look for what I thought was an attractive guy sitting with an attractive woman who wouldn't care about anything I said. And mind you, this was like 10 years ago, and it was shitty then, and I'm sorry that I did it. But I would say that part of my start was I would say I have the hair of a scientist. Like if I had a clipboard and a lab coat, you would believe any test result I gave you. And I would be like, oh, it says here you got the gay. And then I'd make fun of like their shirt or something. And I remember the one time I did it, and the guy looked so dejected and upset. And I was like, I'm never doing it again. Like I never want. I got into this to make people feel better. Like for me, comedy when I was a kid was an escape. Like I could forget about whatever was going on in my own life. And I wanted to give other people that escape, and hurting someone or insulting someone was not in the plan. And when I realized that I had done that, I don't
think that's ever a good plan, is to hurt somebody.
Like, and that's the bottom line. That's why we're comedians. We're comedians to entertain people, take them out of their normal day. And
I think the biggest thing right now, while our audience is talking to each other right now, but Jamie, is that people are people are so easily offended this day.
You got to be careful.
Even if you're not talking to them directly, they are just offended by everything, you know?
Yeah.
So everyone's super sensitive right now, and it's.
I mean, I guess I'm just happy I did that back before anyone recorded it, and you know.
Yeah.
And you were starting out, like you said, but you were able to figure it out. And hey, I gotta trash that. That's it. And to go back to what you're saying,
I'm embarrassed of the fact that I did it. It was terrible. It was lazy writing. It was garbage. I went into something about like looking like Doc Brown or something. I don't remember what it was. It was like year one stuff of like, I think people will like this. And no,
no one knows what they're doing year one.
I think we were all there at one point.
Yeah. You know? When I first started, I did a show at the Ice House, and I used to have super bad stage fright for the first few years. And I got up there, I was in like the 8th minute of a 10-minute set, and I did a callback, but then I realized I didn't do the original joke. Like call back to something I never said in the first place.
Right. When I first started as a comedian, my thing was, I mean, I'd have the nerves as well, but I would go up there and I wouldn't connect with the audience. I would just go through my routine, like not even really interact with them or look at them. I just boom, 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 boom. And I was doing too much. And like for like a 3-minute, 4-minute set, that was my downfall at the beginning.
When I first started, I had paralyzing stage fright. Like, I mean, paralyzing. One of the things I did at the beginning was like the first time I truly bombed, not that I was doing good, but the first time I truly bombed was like my 5th time on stage, and trying to get up my 6th time on stage. I had like the 5th time on stage, I just forgot all my jokes. Yeah. The only people laughing was my girlfriend at the time, who was also a comic, and she's crushing it right now, but she thought it was great to see me fail. She was like, you know, and my brother who also but so to conquer that, I purposely got up on stage to the 6th time on stage. I had a panic attack because I was worried that all the other comics are going to think I'm a hack or whatever, or terrible, or what. I don't remember what all I was, but I was like so terrified that everyone's going to think I'm terrible, which I'm just starting out. Of course I was.
Yeah.
But my first paid gig was, I got paid in a cheeseburger, and it was like a 2-hour drive away. I rode out there with the other comics. When we got there, it was in the middle of nowhere. Like we were driving through foliage, and all of a sudden it parted, and there was a bar, and the marquee said "comedy show sold out," and the parking lot was packed.
Oh wow!
And I immediately got nervous and ran to the back of the building and started vomiting in the bushes.
Wow!
Oh boy!
What I didn't know is this particular venue, everyone enters through the back. So they're all walking by, vomiting, going, "Is he okay?" And I'm like,
You'll see me later on stage.
Yeah. I had to go start the show after everyone had watched me just vomiting in the bushes. Everyone's walking by and going, "Is that guy okay? I don't think he's okay."
He's part of the show.
He seems really, really bad. So that started a trend. I figured out, stop eating 5 hours before a show.
Yeah.
I never eat before a show ever.
Yeah. So if it's an 8 o'clock show, I stop eating at 3. That's my rule. I've broken it a few times, and it always bites me in the ass.
As soon as you're done, you go for that chimay.
The hard part, I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but if you ever have, I don't know, you Lauren, you say you don't eat before a show. You ever done a show at a place that has 3 shows in the night? So like a 6, an 8, and a 10?
I've done 2 shows, but not 3. Yeah.
It's like if you don't, so for a 6 o'clock show, I stopped eating at like 1. So I wake up at noon and I eat a little something. And then by the time like the second show is halfway over, you're like starving. I started to get to the point where I would like have a snack after the second show, and somehow that'd be fine for the late show, because I've already proven to myself that on this day,
after
I'm
2 shows,
you know, I'll make it work. Like there's something about having a successful performance.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
absolutely.
If I'd eaten it, I'd be like, "No, I still can't."
Yeah.
Jamie's gonna be back in 2 minutes. He has to go build something.
Oh,
IKEA furniture or something.
So Adam, part of our show is that we interact with our audience, and we have a few fans. And so Jamie is he lives in Mississippi, and he's a builder. And if you follow him on Facebook, every day he's building like tables and cabinets and doors and
clossets. Everything.
Yeah, so he's just
crazy.
Like, yeah,
he's making a set of wooden teeth for Noodle.
Yeah.
What you're saying is he's a real man, and I
right.
No, it's just that I'm interacting with the comments. So he just said he'll be back in 2 minutes. He has to go build.
He eats a lot of bacon also.
Every Sunday he cooks for lumberjacks. I think he makes pounds of bacon and pork chops.
He'll make like 500 pounds of like chops and bacon and squash and bless him.
That's good Southern food. Good Southern food.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. There's
a manly man.
There's certain parts of the country which is basically everything except New York and California. I'm thinking about it, that has like super fattening food. Like I was like
Georgia, where you're going.
Oh yeah.
That's where you got like. Georgia's where you go, and they give you like 2 giant biscuits and gravy. Like,
they don't.
Healthy.
You can't get
Midwest. You got cheese curds and like.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Pizza that they're like, you know what? We should make it like 2 inches thick. Like that was the problem with pizza. It's thin. We should make it, enough to clog an artery with a single serving.
When I was in Atlanta, I was trying to eat healthy. I'm like, I'm just gonna get a turkey burger. I won't eat the bun.
Boy.
I ordered this turkey burger.
It had the feathers on it.
And I couldn't find the turkey burger. I lifted the bun, and it was onion rings up to here, covered with, looks like Thousand Island, but whatever dressing that was. And I'm like, this looks delicious, but
it was lard.
Yeah. And everything there is fried and sauce. And
you're in the South. We've got like deep fried Twinkies and deep fried butter.
Right. I love fried green tomatoes, and I love fried pickles.
Fried green tomatoes and fried pickles are awesome.
They are so good.
So is gator tail, believe it or not. That's
I've had gator.
It's like jerky.
Yeah, that's the one.
Of Barney's Beanery. I don't know if you have that. They have fried pickles there.
It's isn't that a coffee place?
No, it's a bar.
Oh.
Bar restaurant. There's a
They have
couple.
Chimay.
Yeah, the original ones. Yeah, the original ones on Sunset Boulevard. But
Yeah.
Hollywood,
I believe-
Pasadena, Burbank.
Burbank near
There's one
Flappers.
There's one near Flappers. I used to go eat there, and
Yeah.
Redondo Beach.
and
Redondo.
Jay can walk to there. Is it still there?
Well, I don't know if anything's open now. I haven't been down there, but yeah, they were open as
Oh yeah.
late as
Before
March.
pre-pandemic.
And they're
Yeah, they got a tiny kitchen on this one, so they don't have the menu that Barney's famous for this 4 or 5 page menu, and there's like 50 burgers choices on there. But
yeah,
I've been to Flappers. I did the Burbank Comedy Festival one.
Oh,
yeah, there
right.
you go.
When did you do that? Did you do it last year or a couple of years ago? When?
It was a couple of years ago. It was either the first or the third.
Okay,
ever.
time they did that.
Did you
The
pay
entrance fee is
$150 to
the entrance fee is only it's
Has
a
it
down
gone
payment
up?
on your car.
they're you don't even get a free drink when you perform there.
That's
Unless
crazy.
it's like you know someone.
I will say I had a bunch of fun. I met Gary Cannon. I don't know if you know who that
Gary's
is.
a really good friend of mine.
Yeah, I met Gary.
I asked
there.
him to do our show. He lives in Redondo Beach.
Sorry. He was on. We were performing on the same show.
Okay.
And he was wearing his Conan jacket, and I was like, "No way! You have a how'd you get the Conan jacket?" He's like, I do warm up there," and I was like, "What?
That's awesome.
Crazy!" And he's like, "We actually have a comic on the show. I think we were leaving. We're supposed to leave on Monday." And he's like, "If you're here on Tuesday, we got a comic performance, and you can come out." And my buddy that I went there with had bought his flight on Delta. And I'm like, "Dude, you got to buy on Southwest because it's Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen? And you might have to stay out there a day, and it's like free to change your flight." And he's like, "That'll never happen." And so it cost me $2 to change my flight 2 days. And it would have cost him like $500, so he couldn't stay. But I stayed, and I got to.
Gary, Jay, Gary does the shows with me and Becky at her place. So you met him, I think.
Oh yeah, at the Sisters Barn.
Yeah,
He's such a nice guy. He
oh, cool.
Like I've gone out there twice, and twice he's randomly selected me to be a part of that, like a dance contest on the stage beforehand.
That's funny.
The first time I did it, I'm like, you know what? How many times am I going to be standing on the stage? Who gives a rat's ass? Like, I'm going to go crazy. And most people are like nervous and like doing this number. I go nuts, rip off my shirt, throw it in the crowd, do like I did like a slide on my knees. Mind you, what I didn't know, the wooden panels there have a gap, and I shredded my knee. Sliding. I flipped over, did the worm. Like, my knee was bleeding.
Hey, you're suffering for the art, man. You're
People
suffering for the
nuts.
comedy.
Hey, Lauren,
it was worth it then.
Lauren, it might be time for what we've learned.
Yeah, so we've gone a little bit over. So we're gonna end the show with what we've learned.
But it's been great. You've been awesome, Adam.
It has been so much fun.
And thank you so much for having me.
Real quick, sorry, Adam. What are your Twitter handles or what's your social media stuff? Do you have a website?
I do. It's my website is adammurraylive.com. Most of my stuff is Adam Murray Live. I've got a YouTube. I've got Instagram.
Cool.
I think I have 4 people following me on TikTok.
I'll follow you. I'll follow you on TikTok. I'm on.
Yeah. I've got. I don't know. Something's been going on. People actually gained like 50 subscribers or something today. I don't know what happened. That people were like,
very
cool.
Crazy. You guys, his last name is Murray.
Yeah.
Just so you.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to find me on Facebook, cool. If you want to find me on Instagram, whatever. I upload videos every week on YouTube. All sorts of stuff.
All right, everybody go to it. All right.
Jamie just said he was at Sister's Barn watching me perform one time, but Jay didn't go because he was at the gym.
You're at the gym?
Yeah, he's decided.
That was before gyms were
Stand up
closed.
gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand up gym.
Yeah.
And Jay lived across the street from. Ooh, there goes the Chimay. Okay.
I was on the escalator master.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, what
Okay.
did I learn? There was a lot of stuff to learn tonight, but I learned that when it says "do not touch," that must be the scariest thing to read in Braille.
All right. Well, what I've learned is that Chimay is very malty, and stalkers look through your windows.
Yeah, they try to.
What I've learned is never take an Asian woman to a timeshare meeting when she thinks she's going to Disneyland.
She was pissed. Listen, I don't speak a word of Chinese, but I know somewhere in there she was like going, "You cheap son of a bitch." She was so mad.
He said it crosses over languages.
Did you learn anything, Adam?
I've learned that I've been missing out all this time on this show. You guys are awesome. I wish I would have
Thank
known
you.
about it. I truly thank Jen for letting me know about it. This has been a ton of fun.
She's a great networker. And just so you know, Jamie Parker is gonna go follow you right now. He just said that.
All right.
Awesome.
You're gonna
we'll have you back, Adam. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. We want to thank Jennifer for introducing you to us.
Yes.
Thank you, Jennifer.
She was very adamant. She's like, "You gotta come see them. You gotta join. I'll get you on."
Oh, do I know it?
The beauty of Zoom. Yes.
So anyway,
I was like, they're not gonna want to have me on. It's fine, Jen. Like,
no.
So we'll say bye to the audience real quick, and then we'll stay on for a few minutes. So bye, you guys.
Right.
We'll see you next Wednesday, same time. Hopefully, well, same place. I don't think we'll be back at Denny's Point, but okay. Bye.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day. Happy birthday, Aaron.